Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. War is expensive. It costs fuel, ammunition, and lives. Usually, an invading empire conquers a planet to steal its resources and make a profit. But what if the planet they invade has a weapon that destroys economies from the inside out? We aren't talking about sanctions. We aren't talking about blockades. We are talking about multi-level marketing. Today's story is about the invasion of the Krag Dominion. They were a collective of honorable, rigid warriors who valued hierarchy above all else. They expected a fight against soldiers. Instead, they were met by Karens, Huns, and crypto brothers. This is the story of how humanity turned a bloodthirsty army into a desperate downline of people trying to sell essential oils to their friends. If you have ever received a DM from an old high school friend saying, "Hey girl," smash that like button before they try to recruit you. And if you want to learn how to be your own boss and make six figures from home, just kidding, subscribe and ring the bell. Opportunity knocking. Don't answer. High Warlord Thrax stood on the bridge of the Fist of Iron. The Krag were 8-foot-tall reptilians with thick gray hides. They lived for war. Their society was a perfect pyramid of military rank. Grunts obeyed sergeants, sergeants obeyed captains, and everyone obeyed the warlord. Earth is within range, Thrax growled. Their defenses are minimal. They are soft. Prepare the drop pods. We will crush their governments and enslave their population to mine for heavy metals. Warlord, the comm officer interrupted. A human shuttle is approaching. It is broadcasting a friendly signal? It is asking for permission to dock. Thrax sneered. They send diplomats to beg for mercy. Let them land. I enjoy the smell of their fear. The shuttle landed in the main hangar. It wasn't a military craft. It was a pink and gold civilian transport with a bumper sticker that read #BossBabe. The ramp lowered. Out stepped two humans. One was a woman with a sharp, angular haircut and a blazer. Her name was Linda. She was carrying a crate of Lava Life essential oils. The other was a young man in a tight t-shirt and sunglasses. His name was Brad. He was carrying a crate of alpha male brain powder. They didn't look scared. They looked enthusiastic. Thrax marched down to meet them, flanked by his elite guards. Humans? Thrax roared. Kneel before the Krag. Your world is now property of the Dominion. Linda didn't kneel. She smiled. A terrifying wide sales rep smile. Oh my gosh, hi. Linda squealed, walking right up to the 8-foot monster. I love your armor. It is so structured. But honey, your scales look so dry. Have you been moisturizing? Thrax blinked. Moisturizing? I am a warrior. I bathe in the blood of my enemies. Totally, Linda nodded. But blood is so acidic. It really ruins your pH balance. Look at this. She pulled a small purple bottle from her crate. This is celestial lavender. It aligns your chakras and hydrates your scales. Just smell it. Thrax recoiled. I do not want your potion, witch. It's not a potion, bro. Brad stepped in, flexing his bicep. It's a lifestyle. Look at your troops. They look tired. Low energy. They need Brain Force Ultra. It's got electrolytes. It's got nootropics. It unlocks your inner wolf. My troops are tired because they have been in cryosleep for 6 months. Thrax yelled. Exactly, Brad pointed a finger gun. Passive lifestyle. You guys need to hustle. You need to grind. Do you want to be a grunt forever, or do you want to be an alpha? Thrax was confused. He looked at his guards. They looked interested. What is your proposal? Thrax asked, suspecting a trap. Okay, look, Linda said, opening a flip chart she had hidden in her blazer. We aren't here to fight. We're here to offer you an opportunity. You guys have a huge fleet, right? That's a huge network. A huge market. We are conquerors, Thrax said. Sure, Linda waved a hand. But think about the overhead. Fuel. Ammo. Repairs. It's expensive. What if I told you that you could make passive income while you conquer? What if you could be your own warlord? The trap was set. Linda explained the business model. If Thrax bought a starter kit of oils for a mere 500 credits, he would become a bronze distributor. If he recruited 5 of his captains to sell oils, he would become a silver executive and get a percentage of their sales. If those captains recruited their sergeants, Thrax would become a diamond warlord and get a free pink spaceship. Thrax looked at the chart. It was a triangle. This shape, Thrax noted. It resembles our military hierarchy. Exactly. Brad said. It's familiar. But instead of dying for the Emperor, you're living for yourself. Financial freedom, baby. Thrax imagined it. A life where he didn't have to dodge plasma bolts. A life of smelling like lavender and counting money. I will take the starter kit, Thrax said. The infection spread faster than a biological plague. Within 24 hours, Thrax had recruited his 10 high captains. The high captains forced their lieutenants to buy starter kits, under threat of execution, which technically violated the company policy, but sales were sales. The lieutenants pressured the sergeants. By day 3, the entire invasion force of 50,000 soldiers had stopped drilling and started selling. The hangar bay of the Fist of Iron was no longer a military staging ground. It was a seminar. Okay, team. Thrax shouted from a stage wearing a Brainforce t-shirt over his armor. We are falling behind on our quotas. The 4th Battalion moved 3,000 units of leggings yesterday. Why is the 5th Battalion lagging? Do you lack the mindset? Do you lack the drive? Sir, a soldier raised his hand. We cannot sell leggings. Our legs are digitigrade and covered in spikes. The fabric tears. That is a loser attitude, Thrax screamed. Sell them as arm warmers. Sell them as weapon covers. Innovate. If you don't hit diamond status by Friday, you are back to cleaning the latrines. The invasion of Earth stalled completely. Krag dropships landed in New York, London, and Tokyo. But the soldiers didn't kick down doors. They knocked politely. Greetings, Earthling, a terrifying alien warrior would say to a terrified housewife. I am Gorlak the Destroyer. Have you heard about the healing power of essential oils? I have a special offer for new customers. People bought the products out of pure fear. Yes. I'll take the candles. Please don't eat me. Excellent choice. Would you also be interested in joining my downline? You could make extra credits from home. The Krag economy began to collapse. War requires logistics. It requires supply lines. But the Krag supply ships stopped bringing ammo. They started bringing cardboard boxes of inventory. Fuel reserves ran low because the engineers spent all their budget on crypto Krag coins, a new currency Brad had launched that was backed by absolutely nothing. It's going to the moon, the chief engineer told Thrax, showing him a graph on a datapad. We are literally already on the moon, Thrax pointed out. We need fuel for the engines. Fuel is old school, boss. We're investing in the future. HODL. Then the Grand Emperor arrived. The super flagship Dominion's glory warped into the system to inspect the conquest. Emperor Zrog expected to see burning cities and enslaved humans. Instead, he saw his fleet painted pink and gold. He saw his warriors posting selfies on the galactic net with captions like #grindset and #warriorlife. Zrog beamed down to the Fist of Iron. He stormed onto the bridge. Thrax. Zrog bellowed. Why is Earth not burning? Why are your men wearing leggings? Thrax stood up. He looked tired. He had bags under his eyes. He had maxed out 3 credit cards buying his own inventory to keep his rank. Emperor, Thrax said nervously. We are pivoting. We are diversifying our portfolio. Diversifying? Zrog grabbed Thrax by the throat. You are a disgrace. I will execute you and take command. Wait. Thrax gagged. Before you kill me, let me ask you one question. Zrog paused. What? Do you keep your financial options open? Thrax pulled a brochure from his armor. Emperor, you are at the top of the galaxy. But are you happy? Or are you just working for the state? Imagine if every planet we conquered paid you a royalty. Not a tax. A passive income stream. Zrog looked at the brochure. It showed a Krag warrior sitting on a beach drinking a shake. Passive income? Zrog whispered. I can get you in at the triple black diamond level, Thrax whispered. You'd be at the top of the pyramid. Literally. Zrog hesitated. The greed in his eyes battled with his warrior instinct. Greed won. Tell me more about this. Brainforce. 6 months later. The Krag Dominion did not conquer Earth. In fact, the Krag Dominion ceased to exist as a military power. It went bankrupt. The Krag coin crashed to zero. The warehouse of unsold leggings became a fire hazard and burned down the fleet's supply depot. The soldiers, realizing they had spent their life savings on vitamins they couldn't eat, mutinied. But it wasn't a violent mutiny. It was a lawsuit. Class action lawsuits flooded the galactic court. The fleet retreated. They had to sell their weapons to pay off their debts. They had to sell their ships for scrap. The once terrifying Krag warriors were now drifting through space in escape pods, trying to DM strangers on other planets to join their team. Humanity watched them go. Linda and Brad stood on the launch pad watching the last pink ship limp away. We did it, Linda said, adjusting her blazer. We saved the world. And we made a killing on the commission fees. Brad high-fived her. The Galactic Council quarantined Earth. Not because we were violent, but because we were scammers. They put up a warning buoy. Warning, inhabitants will try to recruit you. Do not engage. There is no such thing as easy money. Humanity went back to normal. We still fight wars. We still have problems. But we know that if any aliens ever try to invade again, we have an army of Huns waiting for them. And there is no force in the universe more persistent than a person who needs to sell 5 more starter kits to keep their car lease. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. They say war is hell. But honestly, an MLM seminar is worse. If you refuse to join the downline, hit that like button. Comment below, what product would you sell to an alien warlord? Subscribe. And hey, you look like you're ready for a change. DM me. Presentation over.